Well, for the rest of the day, we're just going exploring around Nhulunbuy. There's a number of beaches. This is Crocodile Creek, and it is absolutely beautiful. The weather's turned cloudy, it's a bit overcast, probably quite difficult to film, so hopefully this turns out okay. But it is a lovely, lovely spot.
In the previous episode, we spent the day with 2 elders from the Yolngu people. We are still feeling surprised and excited about being adopted into their clan.
Hey Susie, how are you going?
Hi.
What did you think about that session we had with Japari and Larry?
It was awesome. It was absolutely beautiful.
It was really amazing how the depth of knowledge I had about their surroundings and their willingness to share and their generosity of sharing the knowledge and their stories.
Yeah, lovely people.
Lovely people. And we are now part of their clan. We've been adopted, and that feels amazing. They don't do that to every person that walks up to them. It is a very special thing. And we can now go into any Indigenous community in Australia and tell them who we are, our adopted names, and tell them who adopted us, and they will accept us. So that was really special.
It was very special.
Yeah. The weather's turned a bit cloudy.
Yeah.
It's
only about, 20 degrees?
Yeah.
It's quite cool.
Yeah, the rain is coming. Tomorrow is forecast to be a bit rainy. And I have a decision to make. And the decision is that the place where we camped last night at Cape Arnhem was in fact the place where we are meant to be camped tomorrow night. And tomorrow night is our last night here. Now, it was a 2-hour drive from there back to the Central Arnhem Road. Now, if we were to camp there tomorrow night, that 2-hour drive would then be followed by a 7+ hour drive back to Maynora Station, which makes it an extremely long day. So we are now deciding, tonight we're staying at a place called Turtle Beach, which we will visit later on. We're deciding whether or not we should stay the extra day somewhere else or not, considering the rain that's coming. And I had a look around. Every single campsite that I can find is booked out. Now, you can't just come and camp anywhere in this area. It's all native title land. You have to book ahead, book out your spot in a particular campsite, and they're all booked out for weeks or months in advance. So you don't have the option to just chop and choose as you like. So we haven't made our decision yet. We haven't made up our minds on what we're going to do, but for the time being, we're going to have a look at all the beaches around Nhulunbuy itself.
Yep, let's go.
Let's go. Oh my God, look at the colour of that water. This place is called Rainbow Cliffs, and it is so pretty. Look at this. The colour of the water out in that direction is light blue turquoise, absolutely beautiful. So this place is called Goanna Lagoon, and it is a beautiful camp spot in a bush setting with a really, really lovely little lagoon. Oh, that's fantastic. That's beautiful. Apparently this is one of the safe spots to swim. The water is really, really clear. You can see exactly what's in it or not in it. So tranquil. The sun has just gone behind some clouds, so the temperature's dropped by a few degrees, but I'm still contemplating going for a swim. How amazing is this place? Absolutely sensational. You know what?
How is it?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Awesome.
Absolutely beautiful. Well, this is Goanna Lagoon and the water is absolutely beautiful. It's just the right temperature. It's ever so slightly cool, but not cold. It's just cool enough to be refreshing on a nice hot day. This is what we are seeing. Absolutely beautiful. So we gained a lot of knowledge from our chat this morning with Japari, and one of the things that was mentioned was the clay in this river on the cliffs here. This is mineral clay, and if you take a handful of this clay take a nice handful of this clay and then you rub it all over yourself. It's exfoliating and it has therapeutic qualities. And it's like you can get exfoliating lotions from your pharmacy or Woolworths, but this is natural stuff. It feels grainy, it feels a little bit like sandpaper, but this stuff is supposed to be really, really good for you. So this is what the indigenous people have been doing for thousands of years, and then you just wash it off. And your skin feels clean and vibrant, and this is not meant to be a healthcare channel, but this is just absolutely beautiful, refreshing, amazing. And here we have Susie in her natural environment.
Beautiful.
The water is her natural environment.
Yes.
So this end of the river ends in a mini waterfall. So this information was obtained via local knowledge, and it really is important to try and make connections when you come to an area like this and get some local knowledge, and it'll take you to the best spots. This might be a good place to climb in. Amazing how deep it is. Oh, there are little fish in here. Oh, this is fantastic. It's quite deep. It is quite deep here. Wow, this is absolutely amazing. I've never encountered a place like this before. This is swimming in an extremely narrow, deep canyon, and the rock formations on the edges of this is just simply stunning. This has been formed by tens of thousands of years of water flowing through here. It feels like a very special place. One thing that I've just discovered is some carvings in the rock here. See here, that looks like some carvings there. Now, I don't know whether these carvings are made by indigenous people a long time ago or white people a short time ago, but they are both a similar sort of thing. They are both markings to say, hey, I've been here. This is what I love about Australia and about coming to remote places. You never know what you're going to find. And on our first day coming into Nhulunbuy, and this general area into East Arnhem Land. If travelling along the main road, the Central Arnhem Road, was going to be our judge of the area, then we probably would have turned around and went back, because there's not a lot of interesting things to see on that road. But you go off that road, down some side tracks. Of course you need a permit, but you go down some side tracks and you come across absolutely stunning areas, stunning coastlines, beautiful lagoons, water holes, freshwater swim spots like this. It is so full of surprises, and I am not the least bit surprised that this is so precious to the Indigenous people, and I'm really, really glad that Arnhem Land was handed back to them, and that they are going to be taking care of this land for tens of thousands of years to come. Hopefully for at least another 65,000 years. It is absolutely amazing. When I think of how many generations of people would have swum in this very same waterhole over the 65,000 years that the Indigenous have been in this area, the mind boggles. And I feel absolutely honoured to have the privilege of visiting those same areas and swimming in those same spots that they have spent time in. It's a very, very special place. Very special place. Unfortunately, our time in Arnhem Land is going to be a short one. We live a very long way away. So far we've done 8,000 kilometres, and we have a very long journey to go home. But I will absolutely be back. I've made some wonderful friends, and now that I have been adopted into the community and into the clan, I will be back. I will be back to make my own yirika or didgeridoo, and I'm very much looking forward to that trip. That will probably be in a few years' time, but that's going to be a very special thing. But in the meantime, I have to learn how to play it. So I think even though this trip was very, very short, it's been a very, very meaningful one. And I feel blessed. I always feel blessed when I'm in a special spot, but I feel very blessed to have the opportunity to come here and share in the homeland of the Yolngu people of this area. Well, time to put the camera down. I'm going to go for a swim.
After an hour's drive, we arrived at our camping spot of Turtle Beach.
Well, this is the last beach we're visiting for today. This is Turtle Beach. This is campsite number 2, and this is all for us. There's a nice little fire pit there, little sheltered area there, and there's a walking trail going up there, and the beach is right here. We're going to go and see if we can find some turtles. So there was a warning sign, like with so many of the beaches, but there are lots of dangers, crocodiles, stingers, etc. But what a delightful little beach. Look at this. I have to say yet again, what an amazing beach. Now this is Turtle Beach, so called because they have the sea turtles coming up here laying their eggs. Now the turtle nesting season starts in August. Now this is mid-July at the moment. Actually it's towards the end of July, so we'll be missing out by about a week, but you never know, we might be in luck. The turtles don't use a calendar, so they might just start nesting a little bit early. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed that hopefully tonight we may spot some turtles coming up on the beach, digging a hole, doing their business. That would be really amazing to spot. The beach is actually closed for camping during the months of, I think it's August to November, which is turtle nesting season. I can already feel the first few drops of rain, so we're going to go and get camp set up as quickly as possible. So the rain has temporarily, hopefully permanently, gone away. The rain has stopped, so let me show you around our campsite. We are set up here. We've got the awning out, tent up, induction stove going. We've got some firewood, which we'll be using a little bit later on. Once again, I have Starlink going. So just next to our campsite we have a walking trail heading up in that direction. There's nobody around here. This is a day use area, which means by 2 o'clock people must vacate the site and we can come here and start using it for setting up camp. Now just behind the campsite is this little place. It's like a little grotto. All these twisted trees around the perimeter, and the inside has been cleared. Good old thunderbox loo, so this is rather beautiful.
Luckily, the rain stayed away and we settled in for a beautiful night by the fire. Well, good morning everyone. It was a really humid night. We were right next to the ocean, constant crushing of waves, and I had a bit of a rough night. But still it was okay. We woke up this morning and just before we went to bed we heard this big rustling in the bushes, and Susie got a bit of a fright and she jumped up and stood behind me. I picked up a knife and a torch and was looking. Couldn't see much. I got up, got the machete. I don't know what I would have done with it, but I just walked a little bit down this path with the torch and looking for what might have made the noise, in case it was something wild that was going to attack me like a croc or a dingo, but couldn't see anything. And then this morning we found out what it was. This is the biggest buffalo poop I have ever come across. It's enormous. It's massive. And in fact, if I put my thongs there for comparison, look at that. The size of the animal that laid that is bloody enormous. Just putting my thongs back on, careful not to step in it. The size of the animal that deposited that would have been enormous. I'm just going to go have a look at the beach, see if we can find any evidence of turtles. These red rocks behind me have been pretty much a constant along the coastline of Arnhem Land. I see these again and again. Red granite rocks, beautiful, very, very beautiful, with the green ferns and creepers and plants
spilling out over the top of the red rocks. Yellow sand with the water running back into the beach, into the ocean, sorry. It's very, very beautiful indeed. What a lovely spot this is. No evidence of turtles. There's evidence of little crabs coming up on the beach, but no turtles. So we've just been doing some more tracking of hoof prints, and from there the hoof prints lead out of the scrubland here to there, and then they turn around and go back. So that buffalo would have come up through that cleared little path. Looks like it's well used. Came out here, probably looked at us, looked at the car, turned around, took a massive big dump, and then wandered back into the bush. I don't know why they feel the need to do a number 2 on the road, but maybe he looked at the FJ and thought, nah. Who knows, but he's rather interesting. Time for breakfast, I think. Well, excuse the mess, we've just finished breakfast, just in the middle of packing up, and I just thought I'd have a chat to you about this water filter. This is the Guzzle H2O water filter. This one here. There we go, you can see that better now. So that is a carbon filter combined with a UV filter, and that is plumbed to the output of my water tank. I also have a regular carbon filter plumbed to the input of my water tank. Now, we've had the chance to fill up with water from various sources, questionable sources, servos and just taps that we've come across in a park or public area, and often this water is not drinkable, or the locals say, you know, you better not, we don't know, we wouldn't drink it. But when you're traveling in remote areas, you often have little choice. Now, you can boil the water, but what we've done is the water goes through the carbon filter into the tank, then it goes through the second carbon filter in the Guzzle H2O, and then the UV filter will filter out all the bacteria that might still remain in the water, and it will kill any germs, parasites, bacteria, you name it. And at the other end, I've been really surprised, comes beautiful, fresh, clean drinking water. It tastes clean, it tastes good. And having been through many remote locations, even when they say yes, the water is drinkable, the water has a different quality to the water that I would find in Sydney. Sydney water is very chlorinated. You don't notice until you go to a remote country town, and then you can really taste the difference between non-chlorinated or cleaner water and the super chlorinated filtered water that you get in Sydney. But there's a different quality to the water. It's got a bit of a not quite a slimy, it's slippery texture to it. If you wash your hands, your skin is left feeling slippery. So it's the minerals in the water. So putting that water through all the filters, and especially the Guzzle H2O, which has the carbon and UV filter in it, what comes out at the other end is clean, pure drinking water. It tastes really, really good. It tastes like the Sydney water that I'm used to, but without the chlorine, and it's really, really fantastic. So I'm really happy with that water pump. It's been a really, really great addition to my setup, and I'm really glad I've got it, because sometimes you just don't have access to any kind of water. Even here in Nhulunbuy, up here in the East Arnhem Land, very remote area, we went into the servo to fill up with fuel and asked them if we could fill up with water, and they said, no, we don't drink the water, we can't have water, it's no good. So it really, really does work a treat. I'm still alive, I'm still fine, I'm still drinking that stuff every day, and I feel great. And I can tell because I pour it into a glass, hold the glass up, you can't see any particulates, it tastes pure, it tastes clean. So it really does work. So I'm really happy with that. So you can see we're just filling up our water here. And what's that you've got there, Susie?
What's this?
Yeah.
My secret ingredient. This is Mineral Plus. It's
What's Mineral Plus?
It adds minerals back into the water.
You've been putting something in my water?
I have, and you've caught me. Yeah, it helps with everything. General health, cramps, but especially when you're traveling and you're filtering your water or buying bottled water, your mineral supplementation is so important. And this one is ocean derived, so it's the best you can get on the market. I really like it. There's no taste. It's fantastic. And it just goes to show, because Attila hasn't noticed till now that I was putting something in his water.
Oh my God. I was just going on about how pure and clean the drinking water tastes, and you've been putting that stuff in my water. Well, you know, it kind of makes sense because the water's passing through three filters really. It's going through the carbon filter, a second carbon filter and a UV filter. So those filters are filtering everything out of the water, leaving you with pure clean drinking water, but it is potentially stripping out some of those minerals as well that your body needs.
You can get it online.
Mineral Plus, there you go.
And it's awesome.
Mineral Plus, check it out. So if you're concerned about not getting some of the vital minerals in you, then yeah, try some Mineral Plus.
It also helps you keep hydrated.
Yeah.
Because water alone doesn't.
That's true. Some people buy electrolyte drinks.
Yes.
But why buy expensive electrolyte drinks? Especially when you're out in the remote areas, you can't go into a survey to get an electrolyte drink.
It's expensive and they're full of sugar.
Yeah.
No, the Mineral Plus is really good. It's a good brand.
Okay, awesome. So that's a bit about how we use our water. With or without the Mineral Plus, the water out of the Guzzle H2O really does taste fantastic. So it's really doing a fantastic job there. We're just finishing packing up, and we're going to start making our way back down the Central Arnhem Road, heading back towards Mainoru Station. We've just arrived in the town of Bullman, which is halfway between Nuremberg and the Stewart Highway. We're just looking for a general store that's meant to be here, and this is a very quaint little town. It's an indigenous community with a sign that says, "Warning, all visitors must report to the to the clinic before entering the town." It is very simple little town, not much in terms of infrastructural buildings, but we're going to go and find this general store now and see if we can find some hot food, cold drinks and a bathroom.
Having failed to obtain any of that, we pushed on and found something even better.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I'm about 10 metres away from these two buffalo. They're just quietly grazing by the side of the road. It seems so lovely. Well, I'm just sitting here watching the sunset. We have probably an hour before the sun sets, and this is my last day in Arnhem Land. I probably won't be back for a few years. I'm very much looking forward to my next visit because it has been absolutely amazing. We had some amazing times, saw some amazing scenery both in West and East Arnhem Land, met some amazing people, and I say travel broadens the mind, and it certainly did in this case. Traveling makes you grow as a person, and I got to experience the generosity and openness of the Indigenous people and the willingness to share their culture, their openness about their culture, and their willingness to teach you about their relationship to the land and their culture and beliefs. And it has been a wonderful, wonderful experience. It's also been a wonderful experience seeing the beauty of Arnhem Land. You have to look around a little bit to find the really beautiful spots, but they are definitely there, and I'm sure that there's a lot more that we haven't seen on this trip, so I'm very, very much looking forward to finding those other places that we've missed this time around. It's a very, very long way to come. So far we've probably done close to 8,500 kilometres. By the time I get back to Sydney, it'll be probably 14,000, 15,000 kilometres. So that's a lot of driving to do in 4 weeks, but absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth every corrugation and every kilometre and every jolt and bounce. Definitely worth it. Now, if you want to come to Arnhem Land, you will need to obtain a whole lot of different permits. There's a transit permit for actually setting foot on Arnhem Land, its native title land, so you need a transit permit to set foot on country. You need an access permit to be able to get out and look around, and if you want to stay at one of the campsites, you need a camping permit. On top of that, if you want to take alcohol with you, you will need a liquor permit. I needed to film this, so I needed a filming permit that most people won't need. I suggest planning your trip 6 months in advance and start off with booking the camping spots. So get your camping permit by booking the camping spots, and then book your access permit and transit permit. And they do take a long time to be approved. It has to go to the Dimaroo Corporation, which is the Indigenous body up here that governs the access and transit through Arnhem Land, and there's also the NLC, the Northern Land Council, and so they work hand in hand to review and grant permits. And the permits have to be submitted to a board of Indigenous people, of the elders, and they then review it and approve the permits, but they do take their own time to do it, so be prepared for quite a long wait. I had to wait several months for mine to be approved, so definitely start off with booking your campsites, and you have to know exactly where you're going to be every single day so that you can pre-book the campsites. It's a bit of a pain, but it's just the way that things are run up here. So you have to stick to a very tight schedule. And then, like I said, get your access permit and transit permits, and then finally get your liquor permit if you think you need one of those. And then come and enjoy, because it is an absolutely wonderful place, and I can't wait to come back. I can't wait to come back. So thank you so very much for watching this series, and I shall see you on the next video. If you like this series, please subscribe, like, comment, and if you want to support the channel, go to forex-adventures.com.au, click on the support us link, and from there you can choose various ways to support us. You can go to Patreon and sign up to be a Patreon member, and you can get all sorts of rewards for doing so and join the Forex Adventures community. And you can also donate via Ko-Fi and PayPal. So thank you so very much for your support, and I shall see you on the next video. Cheerio, guys.